And a Merry Christmas Eve to all in Down Under, all our members down there, and Happy Christmas Eve to the rest of the world. We haven't called up yet. So what have we got this week? A very, very packed show. Half a show left out. There's lots going on. As a nurse collapses in the past week after stupidly volunteering for the vaccine, although it could be the case that she was forced into doing so, fact checker steamed in and declared her collapse doesn't mean the COVID vaccines are not safe. Really? Well, please show the proof they are safe then. Oh, I forgot there is none. Later reports came in, though, and although we are unsure of the validity of it, is that nurse died. And in my opinion, these fact checkers need to be held personally responsible for that and the lies, misdirection and utter bullshit that they are stating. Find out who they are and call them for what they really are, death merchants and traitors to humanity. And then we had breaking news this week from the World Health Organization, the UN and the CDC, and they are now requesting the general public to continue to wear masks and also a new mask called a blindfold so that we can't see what's going on. Struggling restaurant owners citywide in New York are permanently banning the New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo from setting foot into their establishments. Many members of the Facebook group NYC Restaurants Open applaud the executive order banning Cuomo from being served at all New York City restaurants. I would go one step further. Ban all politicians until they learn to serve the public. And until then, the public should no longer serve them. Then we had the District Attorney George Gascon, who was born in Cuba and previously was San Francisco's DA, who took office in Los Angeles early this month after being elected with more than $2.5 million in campaign funding from the Soros Foundation. And the question remains is, how is that not declared foreign election interference? Or is it the fact that the Jewish donors are considered outside of the law? Or is it because their religion is the law? A law professor at Virginia's Washington and Lee University this week has devised a creative solution to help create a racially just society. And their solution was double count the votes of black people to undo America's structurally racist political system. I guess he was taught at the Johns Hopkins Center for Maths and Stupidity courses. I've noticed other forms of discrimination this week between auntie and uncles. Uncle barely gets a mention these days because whilst auntie gets lots. Anti-vaxxer, anti-establishment, anti-government and anti-authority. I guess the auntie had some balls being auntie, but then if auntie had balls, she would be my uncle, and so I guess it all works out in the end. And then we have the Democratic DC Mayor Muriel Bowser declared Christmas Eve to be Dr. Anthony S. Fauci Day, according to latest garble. Me personally, I don't give a flying Fauci, but personally, or perhaps, he should be declared as Ebenezer Scrooge. The coroner of Grand County, Colorado, has been speaking out this week after discovering that 40% of the COVID-19 deaths in her area were actually victims of gunshot wounds. COVID bullets. Well, I never. And the Grand County Coroner is calling attention to the way the State Health Department is classifying some deaths. And the coroner, Brenda Bock, says 2 of their 5 deaths related to COVID-19 were people who died of gunshot wounds. And Bock says because they tested positive for COVID-19 within the past 13 days, they were classified as deaths among cases. And said it's absolutely absurd they would even put that on there. Why would you want to go to a county that has really high death numbers? Would you want to go visit that county because they are contagious? And, I might get it. And I could die if all of a sudden one county has a high death count. We don't have it, and we don't need those numbers inflated, she said. And that's almost as fake as the staged TV vaccination events with sideways angles, retractable needles, plus some jackass never even removed the top off the needle. Almost hilarious levels of stupidity. But something to deeply ponder on as we go into the break. Isn't it strange that the global elite, politicians, UN and other lackeys can deliver expensive experimental vaccines in under a year around the world, and yet after decades cannot feed the poor and hungry in any country, and never mind the poor ones? One would almost think they didn't care. Me personally, I know they don't, which is why we have to do it more.